What's up, AD? Welcome to Jerryland. Come on inside. So what drew me to this house initially was its warmth and its homey kind of vibe, kind of Spanish Moroccan style, a whole lot of wood, and in particular these beams up here. This was the first thing that completely sold me on this house. We pretty much completely redid most of it, added in these bookshelves. Books are huge to me. They just make a home feel like a home, and I actually do read a lot. This is the living room. I'm really big on rugs. As the dude in The Big Lebowski would say, it really ties the room together. You know, old traditional rugs, especially if they're actually like lived in and walked on and used, just really adds like a warmth to a home. I want a home to feel like a home, not just a house or not just, you know, a hotel. In music, you travel so much, you know, you're rarely ever actually home. But this year, especially quarantine, I really got to live here, honestly. But when I'd be on the road, you know, I'd look forward to getting to come home, and I need this to feel like it's home. So this guitar, this was actually a gift from somebody very special to me. I got that for Christmas. I'm learning to play. I'm not very good yet. I've been in love with music since I was old enough to understand it. My aunt and uncle were in a rock band. I would watch them rehearse, and I idolized them. My uncle played guitar, and he was just nasty at it. That drew me to music at a very early age. I took some piano lessons when I was a kid, but over quarantine, I really started actually taking it serious again and spending time on the piano every day. Having instruments in a home, you know, is so essential to me, you know, as somebody who, you know, has lived a life in music. This is a piece by an artist by the name of Fucci, who I'd been following for years on Instagram and admiring his work. And I kind of like the juxtaposition and clash it even creates. You know, you have everything else that's so traditional and old feeling and warm, and then you have this clash of color and this bright pop art. Over here is a good friend of mine, Kai. I've known him for years and years and years, and he did this specifically for me. He did a spin-off of a classic piece, Nighthawks. His interpretation of it was adding me where James Dean goes. This couch is the most comfortable couch in all the universe of couches. Spent a lot of time right there. Over here, this is, I guess, my dining room. For me, it's essential to just have this flow and walkway through from the living room to the entryway, to this dining room, to the kitchen. Over here, there's another piece by Kai. This is his like traditional character he does. This piece is actually my mom. She's a photographer, photo printmaker. I love having pieces of, you know, my family in my home. It just makes me feel closer to them. Obviously, music is big. I think when you put a record on, it's like, it's different than just, you know, connecting to Bluetooth and, you know, putting on a Pandora or Spotify station or something. I don't have like that crazy of a collection, but I got some stuff. Everything from Mac Dre to Radiohead to Sex Pistols to Lionel Richie to Nina Simone. A book collection and a record collection really just speaks to your identity. Speaking of, my favorite author is Charles Bukowski. I just love his boldness and his brashness, essentially his you-ness. Here we have the kitchen. So my favorite color is dark green. I think dark green, especially next to gold, is really beautiful. I'm not much of a cook myself, but I do make a hell of a top ramen. You know, I put all the seasonings in there, from the cayenne pepper to the Tonys, but that's about all I cook. But I am big on coffee. Every single morning I make my coffee, and it's kind of like my meditative routine. It's very essential to start my day. I can't talk to anybody before I've had at least 2 cups of coffee. Whenever I have friends over, it's like we all gravitate immediately to the kitchen. This marble counter right here, you know, becomes the kick-it spot. This is where drinks get made. This is where conversation gets had. This is where music gets listened to and played. This is where the vibe always starts. When I was looking for a house down here in LA, I wanted some kind of a view, and I wanted some kind of pool. When I came to see this house for the first time, you know, this is something that sold me almost immediately. The pool, it's really more or less a massive hot tub. I probably pay way too much in energy costs, but I keep it almost 100 degrees pretty much all the time. It makes for fun nights swimming. I like to make my coffee. I come out here, and I just appreciate this vibe. It's just so much to be grateful for and to not take for granted. The beautiful weather here, this beautiful view, getting to live in the land of opportunity. The way the sun hits the house, it lets in a ton of light, but at nighttime, as soon as the sun goes down, it's beautiful. I love bistro lights. I love just like a soft, warm glow. Then I got a fire pit over here in the corner we like to post up at. It's a chill smoking spot. There's a lot of nights where cats end up flipping off of this rail and into the hot tub and going for night swims. Anything goes at Jerryland. This bathroom I worked on with my interior designer, and I wanted it to feel like a completely different vibe from the rest of the house, like almost like you're on an acid trip or something. So it's super dimly lit. We picked out this wallpaper to just be super trippy. And then there's a piece in here by a good friend of mine, an artist by the name of Nate Turbo. It says, "Give me all the partying." Yeah, this bathroom's just a vibe. So from upstairs to downstairs, you know, it's all kind of connected, and it's not really that separate. This is a piece by my homie Syfe. This is a good friend of mine, one of the first people I met in New Orleans, one of my best friends, my brothers. He's kind of stopped rapping and took up painting, and he's just become incredible at it. And I always like to support the homies and support art in general. This piece was a gift from another good friend of mine, Ashley Longshore. It's a painting of one of my favorite rappers of all time, obviously Lil Wayne. I love pop art, and I love what she's doing with her whole career. You know, to get this as a gift from her, that meant the world. This probably get to make some people jealous. We got it all sectioned out, leather jacket collection. You know, we got the blazers down here, suits, jackets, dress shoes here, boots, creepers. But then the sneakers is where I really just get to stunt. Sneakers, 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 sneakers. The Air Mags, Back to the Future. If I could pick out one thing in this entire closet, it's my favorite piece. It's either there's a certain Saint Laurent jacket that I've worn for so many years that it's become like a second layer of my skin. Either that or these right here. This is my holy grail in terms of sneakers. It's the Nike SB Pigeons. Crazy controversy over when these were released. The irony is I'm actually totally afraid of pigeons. I have a weird phobia of birds, but for some reason this shoe, I just felt like it's the most beautifully designed, and then all the lore behind it and how rare it is. That's a pair that makes people upset. From the Bay Area, so when it comes to hats, you'll usually always see me in an A's hat or a Giants hat. So the conversation of LA and the Bay is a tough one. You know, there's always kind of been like a rivalry, and being from the Bay, you know, I miss it. I miss my friends and family back home. I miss the energy back home, but it is a slower pace. LA is the land of opportunity. You know, things move so fast down here. So in the music business, it's almost like you kind of have to be here, but in a perfect world, man, I moved back home before too long. When I redid the house, it kind of started with the idea of this room. This was originally a bedroom that we knocked down a wall, connected to my bedroom. It's crazy to think that I turned a whole bedroom in my house into a closet, and it's still overflowing. Like, I almost need a whole nother bedroom just for shoes or something like that. Or I just need to stop buying stuff. I like keeping things like, you know, the dark gray, like cold feel of like the sheets. This is like my reading station. I love this chair. Hermes blanket for the cold nights. Right here next to my baby. I love you, Kate. You're so beautiful. We added these in. Before this, it was literally just wide open and it was so bright. You know, sometimes I'm a nocturnal animal. Sometimes I'm up all night in the studio working, and I sleep all day. And that's just how it goes. So the blackout curtains are hella essential. Sleep is essential. You gotta get that to stay healthy. This might be the most genius idea I've ever had. Love it or hate it, but keeping a fridge in my bedroom full of waters is the most essential. Wake up in the middle of the night, parched, just come right here, just get you a water. I love this piece. I guess it's a little dark to have in a bedroom, but it is what it is. The archway into the bathroom, this was here when I moved in, and it was another thing that attracted me to buying the house. You know, this kind of Moroccan, you know, Spanish feel to it. It's another thing that adds warmth, you know, to homes, in my opinion. I've never been a fan of like the super cold, sterile, super geometric, you know, big wide open, super modern homes. I like it to feel like a bit older with more character. So we kind of went like Bruce Wayne, super masculine with the bathroom. I'm pretty big on minimalism, as you can see. Yeah, big walk-in shower, wonderful steam room with the eucalyptus. I love steam rooms. So that was one of the things I knew I wanted to do with the house, is turn this shower into a steam room. It's a vibe. You gotta sweat out everything. Sweat out the night before, if you will, you know? I kind of have this open door policy, you know, for friends and family. When anybody needs anywhere to stay, you know that you always have a home here at the land. So having this guest room is essential. It's actually one of my favorite rooms in the house. When I'm here alone, sometimes I'll crash in this room, sometimes I'll sleep on my couch, sometimes I'll sleep in the downstairs guest room. That's kind of like me being a big kid, you know, in my home and having it all to myself and being able to do what I want. This is another piece my mom did. That's my little brother. When he was, I believe, 2 years old, he actually drowned. And I swam down and swam him out of the pool when I was like 5. Essentially, helped save him. So this piece means a lot to me. I love my brother. He's my favorite person on the planet. So I love having this piece here. This is a photo one of my best friends, Grady Brandon, took, and it was the first time I'd sold out the Fox Theater in Oakland. It's one of the most legendary venues back home. It's just a moment that's frozen in time that, means the world to me. Comes with a beautiful balcony right here. Nice place to wake up and enjoy a cup of coffee. The view from this balcony is exceptional. What's not to enjoy? When I was looking for homes, what attracted me to it also was just that, where the studio is separate from the main house. That's just something that's important to me, I think. Having your place where you live and then having your place where you work. Even if it's, connected in the same home technically, the fact you have to go outside and it's like a separate space, a separate universe you walk into. I think those things are just essential to kind of split apart. There's a lot of stairs in my house. Some people get really exhausted coming up all these sets of stairs. To me, I think it's good exercise. But for those times that you don't quite have it in you, I do have an elevator in the crib. This we redid with my designer. The red velvet walls, Moroccan tiles, alabaster light in here. All right, I'll see y'all in the studio. So on the upstairs level, this is kind of like the lounge, kick it spot for the homies. I love neon. I've always loved neon. My dad's an artist as well, and he did a lot of art using neon. So I think I was always just kind of attracted to it. It feels good to just walk past these. They're reminders of, who you are and your accomplishments and all that. It's also a reminder of gratitude. But this right here is my most prized possession in the whole entire home. Kobe Bryant was my hero. I have a tattoo for Kobe right here. And this was a birthday present a couple of years ago before he passed. I had met him after a game, and the first thing he says to me, he says, "Yo, young Elvis." And he told me to chase the Beatles and to never give up and to just want to always be great and to always, remember that Mamba mentality. And it was crazy, the motivation that somebody could give me, in just a brief exchange like that. But this gift meant the world to me because it was forever and it was tangible. It says, "To G-Eazy, do the phenomenal." Signed, Kobe. Imagine walking past that every day you go into the studio. How could you not want to be great? As we enter down these stairs, you transport into a different universe. And this is where the magic gets made, man. Again, I'm really big on rugs, especially in studios. I love to work on a song and then sit down and lay down on the rug and listen to the song and hear how it sounds from the floor. I might be weird like that, but that's my vibe. I did most of the Beautiful and Damned in this room. I did the majority of my new album, These Things Happen Too, down here as well. It was tough because quarantine, at first, nobody was seeing anybody, so it was just me down here. But then my engineer and producer, he moved to Zimbabwe. So most all the quarantine, it was just me down here. I had to reteach myself how to engineer again. I had to reteach myself how to produce most of my music again. So it's literally just me down here in this room, sitting at that keyboard, making the music from scratch. Whenever I'm working on a new song and, if I don't have any of the homies over or anybody to ask their opinion to see if it's good or not, I just ask Mac Dre. I got my Mac Dre bobblehead right here. Mac Dre, Diz in peace, one of the legends from the Bay Area, one of the greatest rappers of all time. But yeah, I'll just play the song, put him on the speaker, and if he nods his head to it, then that's how you know it's a slap. This bathroom I love. I wanted it to feel like a bathroom in New York City at a bar or something cool. The tiles just remind me of New York subways. And again, it's got that dark green. I don't think this shower has ever been used, but it's a beautiful shower. There's probably been times where I've stayed in the studio too long and probably need a shower, but I don't think I've ever actually used that shower, but it looks beautiful. This, when I bought the house, obviously, it was not like this. We had an acoustician come in and custom make all these panels, add the hue lights, treat the room for sound. We added these blackout curtains, because the thing about music is, once you get in that space, it might not matter what time it is. I can work all night long, I can work all day long. It doesn't really matter. I can't be distracted by any of that. We redid this whole side, added the kitchenette, the marble countertop, fridge, the dishwasher. You pretty much got it all. You can make your top ramen down here as well as upstairs in the kitchen. And there you pretty much have it. That's a tour of Jerryland. From the studio where I become G-Eazy, to the home, Gerald's domain, where it's all wholesome. Thank you guys for stopping by. Thanks for checking out my home. Y'all take care.